It is October. Things are officially starting to hum here around campus. Thanks so much for joining us for yet another edition of UNW Athletics. Hope you're enjoying the view, I should say, high in the sky. You are flying with DP and Ryan. DP, how are you?
We are as high in the sky as we've ever been because we have an absolute superstar in the studio with us here today, Marylyn Schroyer. Do I ever butcher your name? I just want to make sure. Okay, Marylyn Schroyer. We are so thankful that you're here. The all-time digs leader in Northwestern Volleyball. We got to give it up.
How about that?
We got to clap for that. Just absolutely incredible accomplishment. Congrats on that. Congrats on an awesome start to the season. And welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We're very happy to have you here. So, for those who don't know, you have dug more volleyballs than anybody in the history of this program. And this is a historic program, too. There's absolute legends. And the person who had that digs record just happened to be the 2016 National Volleyball Player of the Year. So the best player in the country. So you broke it from a pretty talented individual. So what is that like? I mean, what kind of were your feelings after the game, during the game, when you've kind of realized that was reality, that you had done that? What's going through your head?
Well, honestly, when it did happen, I didn't really know it was actually going to happen that game. I knew, obviously, I was going to break it sometime this year just because my dad actually is a pretty big influence on just, encouraging me and just letting me know, certain stats and whatnot. So I love him for that. But he was like, oh, you probably won't break it this game. And so I was like, oh, that's fine. And it's, it's still conference play, pretty big game and whatnot. They had a lot of good hitters. And then I dug one ball. Wasn't even really that good of a ball. But we got it up, and we got the point for it. And then all of a sudden, everybody just started clapping, and I was very confused. I was like, what is going on?
Okay, so you didn't know that was it. Okay.
No, I didn't.
You didn't have the countdown in your head,
no.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, no. Nobody was saying anything until, that moment. So I didn't hear my coach. So I had to, go back over to, the side and be like, what is happening? And she's just like, you broke the record. And I was like, cool. I think I gave her a thumbs up. So
there you go.
Yeah, and just continue to play.
That's awesome. When you committed to Northwestern, was breaking records, was going to the national tournament, was being the number 3 ranked team in the country, were these things on your radar? What were kind of your expectations, and how has reality, either exceeded or lived up to those expectations that you had?
Well, I mean, I wasn't actually planning on playing volleyball in college. I was going to just stay in Colorado and just kind of start working, maybe going to a smaller college. But I don't know, something inside me wanted to go play, and I found Northwestern. I was like, oh, this sounds cool. The girls is what drew me here. And I would say that, yeah, I knew we were good. But then my freshman year when we made it to the tournament, I was like, oh, wow, this is a little bit different. There's just so much raw talent on this team. And the fact that we can use it all together to create something and play for a different purpose and a better purpose, I think that's what the potential we have for each other.
Well, good choice to play volleyball too. and I think you made a coaching staff, a fan base, and a lot of teammates pretty happy with that decision too. So yeah, we'll give you a thumbs up on that decision.
Thank you.
So, Marylyn, obviously that's a huge moment this past weekend to be able to do that, and you've had a lot of big moments in the last 3+ years. Do you take any time to rank those, per se, and just say, you know what, does one of them stick out for any certain reason so far in your career? Or do you say, you know what, I'll maybe do that later when my career is all said and done with?
For all the games?
Yeah, well, just any moment, really, on the floor.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a pretty competitive person, so any time that we win, it's just a nice in my books. And I don't know. There definitely have been a couple other games where they've obviously stood out a little bit more. Our upset in Olaf, my freshman year was pretty cool. Let's see. Honestly, I've played so many games and it's just all kind of blurring together. But yeah, I would say definitely a couple of them where they were upsets or something where some girls just kind of clicked with others on the team. I think that's even an even greater moment for me in general. So,
are you taking some time to reflect on these moments and these accomplishments, or are you kind of waiting until your career's officially done to really start thinking about, man, I really did accomplish a lot in my career here?
I would probably say yes. I don't really want to think about it that I am almost done because volleyball has just been such a big part of my life. I've been playing it since, I think, 6th grade maybe. So just trying to stay in the moment, stay in the present. I think that's how I'm getting through our season too. And probably at the end, I'll be like, that was fun. That was a good 4 years for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This senior class is incredible. It's big. It's talented. You guys have accomplished a lot. The accomplishments are for sure continuing this season with the incredible start to the season you guys have had. Can you describe this class maybe in 3, 4, 5 words? Like when you think of that group of girls, what's kind of that initial thing that comes to mind?
Oh, I would say, wow, we're seniors.
If it's
this
more than
year,
5
yeah.
words, that's
yeah,
okay too.
exactly. We don't have the word counter out. We're not too strict.
I would say we have a purpose. We're also different from all of each other. We're very good at reaching out to girls. I guess that's more than 5 words. But yeah, I would say purposeful is probably our biggest word that describes all the seniors on our team. Like, we know what roles we have to play on the team, no matter if you are playing or if you're not playing. And I think that's what's getting our huge team just to gel together so well, for sure.
You speak of the huge team. Obviously, you have that big class of seniors like David mentioned, but also this underclassmen group. I mean, freshmen and sophomores who are stepping in and they're like playing immediately in large roles. How cool has that been for you to look back and say, I remember when I was in their shoes, I was a freshman, I was a sophomore, and like I said, like they're in huge roles right now and you're all together making this thing happen this year. How special is that?
I'd say it's definitely like kind of gratifying to think about. Like when I was a freshman, we did have some upperclassmen, but it wasn't too many of them. Like we had 14 girls on the team my freshman year, so it was quite a small team. But I think now being able to fulfill that role as a senior for those underclassmen, it's truly gratifying just to see how well they're going through the whole process of getting better, making themselves better, and making the team better as well.
You guys have played an extremely hard schedule. I mean, 5 or 6 nationally ranked teams. You guys had a few weeks ago that we talked a lot about on this show where you guys beat 3 teams that were ranked in the top 10 in a single week, which is a lot better. I don't know if I've ever had a week that good in my life. So you guys had an awesome week. How has that hard schedule really shaped you guys throughout the start of this season? And what have you kind of learned about your team so far? We're close to halfway through the season. What has this hard schedule taught you about this group?
I would say that our team just, first off, that was probably one of the hardest weekends I think any of us have ever played in our entire lives. But it was really gratifying. But I do think it shows like the capability we have as a team if we are all on our A game and being able to show up and play and playing for a bigger purpose. I think that's how we are able to beat these tough teams, and especially on the road too, because it's hard when you don't have a home court advantage, like especially our school too. So being able to play like that on the road, I think, yeah, it definitely shows what we have to give to other teams to show.
Have you been impressed with the resiliency of this team? We talked about it on this show a little bit too. That hard week, and you alluded to it as well. You guys played Calvin. They came out and had a really good first set, and you guys just absolutely came back and responded. You guys have a lot of veterans, but Ryan said you guys have a lot of younger players too. Mm-hmm. Have you been impressed just with the mental toughness of yourself, but also your teammates as well?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, being super competitive and us losing pretty badly in the first set, I was like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? And then we just decided, I think at that point, we're just gonna play free. And that's what we've told our whole team for quite a while now, just being able to play free, play how you play to your best ability, and that's how we are going to come out strong. So yeah.
So like I mentioned earlier, we sit here in early October still, and I don't want to just keep beating this point that the end is coming soon, but you know that is reality. So this is a 2-part question. So starting off, first off, personally, when you look at it and you say, okay, we probably got a month, maybe a month plus, and who knows how long you'll go into the postseason, what do you personally hope to accomplish or experience, maybe a better word? Because we can talk about the wins and we can talk about going deep into the tournament, and I know that's a goal of yours, but whether it be off the floor, relationships, whatever it may be, what do you want to experience personally in this final month, if you will?
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I would say just the relationships, just being able to connect with my teammates. I think that truly is a gift that we all have, especially when we do things with each other off the court. We're spending so much time with each other, and just being able to have that good of a relationship with almost pretty much everybody on the team. I think that's something that I would love to just keep continuing on as our season progresses too, because I think that's really important to keep our team just gelling and having good team chemistry with each other. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And you speak of the team. How much do you talk about when you're in the midst of it and you want to make noise in November, obviously, but how much are you talking about the big picture? I know you always say one game at a time, focus on one thing at a time, but when you have so many seniors, it kind of feels like, okay, it's the elephant in a room in that you've been preached the same message for the last 3 years, but you also know, and you look around and you're probably saying, we could do something really, really special. Like, we have everything here needed to make a super deep run. How do you talk about that as a team as you move forward in this season?
Well, I'd say that, yes, we have been preaching basically the same message for 4 years, at least that
Sure.
I've been here, but it's a good message. And people know that too. Like, our girls know that. And I think the more that we just keep drilling it in people's heads, and they know it too, it's not just kind of white noise in like their brains or anything like that. Just, I think being able to preach that message to them, I think that's what is helping us keep going or keep on going in a sense. So, yeah.
You talk about your teammates, and Ryan was asking some questions there, the team aspect. We had your teammate, Kate Rogers, on this show a few weeks ago, and we were talking to her about all the cheers and the things that go on in game on the bench. What is it like when you're out there and everyone's going nuts and doing that? Does that inspire you? Does it ever make you like laugh? I know you're a very competitive person. Does it ever kind of crack that competitiveness and be like, okay, this is actually kind of funny. These girls are going nuts over here. How do you kind of approach that in game?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like weird for me to say, but I do sort of like tune things out when I am playing. Like, I'm in such a zone, but the fact that I know that they're there and like that they are doing that stuff, that just creates even more encouragement for me, knowing that like, hey, we're rooting for you. And I'm assuming that that's the same with all the other girls that are by my side playing on the court with me. It's awesome. You don't see too many other people's benches doing anything like that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So it's very special to watch. And then you may have just kind of answered this question with what you just alluded to. You talked about how you really get in a zone and you block things out. You guys, this week, you play against St. Olaf on the road. That will mark your 9th straight game not played in the Erickson Center. I mean, what has that stretch been like? You guys have not played inside the Erickson Center since September 13th. I mean, that was a long time ago. And you guys return home this weekend. What's been your mindset playing all these games on the road? And you maybe just answered that a little bit with the way you block things out.
I mean, I think it is good for us. I think the fact that we have been playing so much off the road, it hasn't really, in my opinion at least, like how I see it, it hasn't really been much of a difference to me just because I'm almost kind of used to it. Like, no matter what court we're on, like, it's not ours. So, like, that's that, and just play your game in a sense. But however, like saying that, I am so excited to be back in Erickson. For sure.
Yeah. I know you really get tunnel vision. You block things out. But when UNW Nation is slapping a giant plastic hammer on the ground, your tunnel vision is so strong that you don't even see that? Or does that peek through a little bit?
I hear it. It's a little bit after somebody smacks the ball off the ground, and I'm like just waiting for it. And it comes without a doubt. So it's awesome.
You guys are returning home this weekend. You're going to be in front of UNW Nation for the first time in almost a month. Do you have a message to them at all? You want to get them pumped up? Anything you can tell them to really come and bring the energy this weekend?
Oh, man. I mean, they do so much already. I just want them to continue to keep bringing the same energy that they have. Like, our fans are truly the best out there compared, and especially like being on so many away games. Like, I kind of almost compare like their fans to ours, and I'm like, wow, you guys aren't super fun. Like, you really are. So it's like, I don't know. That's why I'm so excited to come back and just to see them just in our stands just cheering, because I think that's truly what helps our energy as well. So
for sure. You talk about Northwestern being special with the fans, your teammates, all those things. If you could tell a high school senior who is kind of looking, deciding where they want to play volleyball, how would you sell this place, and what could you kind of take from your 4 years that's been so impactful for you that you could tell a high school senior being like, this is the place where you should come to play volleyball?
Yeah. I'd definitely say there's, besides even just volleyball, there's great education, great people. You can make amazing friends here. And also just for volleyball, you'll probably meet the greatest girls that you could almost compare to be your sisters, like sisters in Christ, essentially. So if you want to create those lifelonging like relationships, I think this would definitely be the place for you. And you also get to enjoy a sport that you love to play. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we have appreciated your time so much, Marylyn. Nobody in the history of Northwestern College, University of Northwestern, any other names that this school has ever had, nobody has ever dug a volleyball more times than you have. So congrats again on that. Ryan, I can throw it back to you, but
Yeah.
I'm out of questions. Just really appreciate your time, Marylyn.
Of course. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I absolutely echo what David said. We're looking forward to seeing you guys back at home and hopefully make a push into November. So
Yeah.
appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Of course. Thank you.